You're watching Wall Street Confidential. I'm Farnoosh Torabi. I want to welcome Jim Cramer. Jim, as we approach the holiday season, I want to talk about Corning. Is this a Corning Christmas?
Well, I mean, I think that the high def trade, meaning that you want to buy anybody who's involved with high definition TVs, is a good one. You buy Best Buy for that. What I think is more interesting was that yesterday Philips seemed to indicate, another big LCD maker, that margins were coming back a little bit, which is surprising because Syntex Brilliant said that they weren't coming back. This confirms my theory that Syntex Brilliant is a loser in the category. Something's happened there. Corning is two components, the LCD, which has mattered but is not nearly as important as fiber. Corning went from 26 to 23. Last year, Corning was in a price war on LCD, so this is a change at the margin positive for LCD. But the previous bit of news that drove Corning from 27 down to 23 was fiber related. And that was because Verizon held back orders. Now, I'm wondering whether they held back orders because Corning's now shipping bendable fiber. They started shipping in volume during this month. But I don't want to confuse anyone. Corning is only partially an LCD play, and we own it for ActionAlertsPlus.com. But you would not own this if you felt that LCDs are going to be great, because the key component that drove it down was fiber. What would make me even more bullish about Corning and get me to a $30 price would be if I heard that Verizon was ordering again. Because if you go back over the previous conference call, LCD was fine. Should
they be shopping around their fiber somewhere else?
Well, no. There's really only a finite number of players in this, and I do believe AT&T has scaled back its investment in this. Verizon, the question is, have they scaled back? We don't know. It's certainly by judging the Comcast stock price, you'd think that they haven't scaled back. But I think that Corning is a very misunderstood story on Wall Street, and what will happen is they'll get one thing. It's a two-cylinder story. Eventually, it will be a gas emissions story because they happen to have a very good diesel filter business. That will kick in 2009. So next year, we're going to be levered to a third piston here. But right now, there's only two pistons. And the LCD piston is good and getting better, and the fiber business was bad, and we hope getting good.
Gas emissions.
Yeah, they've got a filtration system that dramatically cuts pollution emissions. GM has decided to go with their engines. It's not a talked about business, and correct not to be talked about, because these other two businesses are gigantic versus this one. But historically, Corning has been a very big innovator, and I think it's, like I said, I'm giving it a 2009 story. It's somewhat like owning solar 2 years ago. Okay, you could say, well, listen, solar's never going to amount to anything, but then you take a look at the trends, and suddenly First Solar ignites. I think that this diesel emission business will be very big for Corning, but it's not in the numbers, and it shouldn't be in the numbers until 2009.
Back to the future with Corning.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Jim Cramer. You're watching Wall Street Confidential. Stay tuned for more.